All right, so for the research phase, this is going to be phase 2, valid and reliable instruments to assess physical activity. And then for the research area, I chose combined physical activity measures for adults. And this is going to be my citation. I chose to do this on the systematic review, validity and reliability of speed tests used in soccer. For the authors' affiliations, the Department for Performance Analysis, Institute of Sports and Sports Science, Karlsruhe Institute of Technology, Karlsruhe, Germany, Department of Sports Science, Department of Sports and Sports Science, University of Freiburg, and then Department of Social Health and Sports Institute and then Sports Performance Research Institute in New Zealand, Auckland, University of Technology. All right, so for the overview of the study, it systematically evaluates how accurately and consistently speed tests assess performance in adult soccer players. Given the growing emphasis on speed in the sport, the authors reviewed 90 studies covering 167 tests, grouped into 5 categories: linear sprint, change of direction, repeated speed, agility, and combination tests. While these tests are widely used, their validity and reliability have not been comprehensively reviewed until this study. This work highlights which tests are well supported and where further research is needed. The statement of purpose: the primary aim of the systematic review was to investigate the validity and reliability of speed tests specifically utilized in adult soccer players. The review sought to compile and analysis existing literature to help researchers and practitioners in selecting appropriate speed tests based on their psychometric properties. All right, so for methods, the design was a systematic review using Prisma. For literature search, the systematic review of published literature was undertaken using electronic databases, PubMed and Web of Science during April and May 2018. An updated search regarding studies published after May was not conducted. The literature search was conducted by one researcher. There was no restriction on publication date. Keywords used: psychometric properties, validity, discrimination, match performance, reliability, consistency, minimal detectable changes, speed, quickness, change of directions, testing, soccer, and football. For the inclusion criteria, there was three different inclusion criteria. The first one was test results or test performed 2 or more times during one occasion, or on 2 or more separate occasions. For the second, compared against other standards of play, and for the third, compared against match performance. For data extraction, the data extraction for the systematic review was a collaborative effort involving 4 researchers. The extracted information was meticulously documented using PowerPoint Excel 2016 spreadsheet. Key points for data extraction were publication details, participant demographics, test characters, outcome measures, and methodical quality. Classifications of speed tests: linear sprint tests, change of direction sprint tests, repeated sprint tests, agility tests, and combination tests, sprint plus agility. For the analysis, the authors summarized the evidence for validity and reliability within each test category, highlighted the strength of evidence, and identified gaps where data was limited or inconsistent. All right, so for the results, the study measured 5 different in 5 different categories. The first category is linear sprint tests. These tests were examined 67 times, covering distances up to 5 to 200 meters, with 10, 20, and 30 meters being the most common. The construct validity generally showed that higher level players performed better, with effect sizes ranging from negative 0.33 to 1.3. Criterion validity demonstrated a stronger correlation between test results and match parameters, and then intraday reliability ranged from 0.17 to 0.99 and 0.7% to 7.8%, while intraday reliability was 0.77 to 0.98 and 0.5% to 10.9%. For the repeated sprint tests, it was investigated 15 times. These tests involved 3 to 15 repetitions over 15 to 40 meters with active and passive recovery phases. Construct validity indicated that higher level players genuinely achieved better, fastest, average, and total times with ES up to 5.5. However, measures of fatigue such as percentage decrement scores showed inconsistent findings and ES ranging from negative 0.4 to 0.39. Intraday reliability for total times was the ICC was 7.75 and the CV was 0.8%, while intraday reliability was 0.88 and CV was 5% for fastest time. Reliability for percentage decrements was notably lower. All right, so continue on with the results. The change of direction sprint test. These tests were examined 60 different times with distances up to 10 to 60 meters and 1 to 9 directional changes. The construct validity showed that higher players generally performed better. The criterion validity revealed a highest correlation coefficient of 0.56, a negative 0.56 between test results and test parameters, and then intraday reliability ranged from 0.37 to 0.99 and 1.1% to 13%, and interday reliability from 0.63 to 0.98 and 0.8% to 4%. For the agility tests, only 4 agility tests were examined using distances from 8 to 40 meters and various stimuli for directional changes. No studies were identified that investigated the construct or criterion validity of agility tests. Intraday reliability ranged from 0.70 to 0.88 with 3.7% to 4.9%, while interday reliability was 0.70 and 0.8% to 2.3%. So for combination tests, these tests were examined 21 times, incorporating elements of other categories. Construct validity indicated that higher level players generally outperformed lower level players across fastest, average, and then percent decrement scores again showed inconsistent validity findings. Intraday reliability for fastest time was 0.89, and interday reliability changed from 0.15 to 0.79, and 1.1% to 9%. And then reliability for percent decrement was low, with ICCs between 0.17 and 0.49, and CVs between 29.8% and 51.0%. All right, so for the conclusions, from most important to least, number 1, most speech tests are reliable, but validity is less established. Construct validity is better supported than criterion validity. Linear sprint tests are the most studied and well supported. Agility and combination tests are under-researched, and repeated sprint tests are often used in consistent metrics. Practical recommendations for coaches and practitioners: use the linear sprint tests confidently for speed profiling and monitoring. Be cautious with agility and combination tests. Choose metrics wisely and avoid other reliance on fatigue indicators like percentage decrements in repeated sprint tests. And then complement sprint tests with match analysis data to contextualize performance and inform training programs. All right, connecting to other research phases. Development, many tests created without full validation. Design new tests with ecological relevance for validation. Construct validity strong, criterion weaker. More real game correlations studies needed for standardization. Stronger for linear, weaker for agility. Improve protocols and metrics used. And then for application/translation, tests used in training not always well matched to game demands. Better test practice alignment. Okay, so for the strength of the study, the review followed PRISMA guidelines, which ensured structured and replicated search and selection processes. The review had a large comprehensive scope with 90 studies and 167 speed tests, making it one of the most extensive reviews for soccer performance studies. The review covered multiple types of speed tests. The study focused on adult soccer players, which helped strengthen its practical applicability to adult competitive soccer. The review highlighted a lack of criterion validity in under-researched areas like agility. For its weaknesses, while comprehensive, the review did not include a quantitative meta-analysis, which could not provide statistical comparisons and stronger conclusions. The included studies varied widely in terms of protocols, participant characteristics, and outcome measurements, which made comparisons difficult. And the study had a limited focus on female players, which hurts the study's applicability to female soccer players. And the study underreported validity measures, and the practical implementation of the study was not fully explored. All right, so for future studies, they should pay attention to the criterion validity and examine the relationship between test results and match parameters, as well as development and evaluation of soccer-specific agility tests. The authors take, while many speed tests used in soccer show high reliability, their validity, especially in relation to actual match performance, is often lacking or underreported. And then for my personal take, the review could have gone further in offering practical guidance for coaches, like how to best test depending on certain goals.